Hey, what's up? So I just wanted to give you a quick heads up about the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, my experience real quick with it. I've only played like the intro, basically, the intro where you start as young Aloy and then I stopped right after I came into adult Aloy thing, whatever. Anyways, I wasn't even planning to play the remaster. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, here's another freaking cash grab, right? But then I saw the Digital Foundry video on it and I was like, damn, they did a lot of work, like a lot. So that's cool. Like the work they did is actually really nice and impressive. I have preferences for some of the visual style of the original game compared to the remaster, and it reminds me of every HD port or so-called remaster where if they add like HDR, it reminds me of HDR because that's when I booted it up, I saw right away it's like a lot brighter, right? Like the screen's a lot brighter. It makes me think of Photoshop or something like that, where if you go into an image and you edit the image and you sharpen the image, right? It clarifies some things, it kind of clears it up a bit, but it also changes the look of it. Like you can't sharpen an image without it changing, and it does ruin it in some way. So you have to do little, things with it and stuff. But generally, the remaster is impressive. But it's just funny to me that whatever, it is a cash grab, but they did a lot of work on it, so that's cool. Man, there's so many things I want to say, but whatever. So a few small issues, okay? 10 minutes into the damn game. 10 minutes, not even 5 minutes into the game, I've noticed issues right the hell away. First thing, very first thing, the audio is so low. I have pretty nice speakers. They're not like super insane. I think they were like 150 on sale for $100, and this was some years ago. They're nice speakers. They're pretty good ones. And I had them maxed out. Maxed out. I've never had to max these speakers out before for anything. And yeah, so the audio was really low in the cinematic, and then as it switches through the cinematics and the gameplay, the audio keeps changing, higher, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower. So that was immediate. First 5 minutes, it was first 30 seconds I noticed it because I had to turn my damn speakers all the way up. I was like, what the hell? There's a little bit of stuttering I had read on the forums before I even got around to playing it. People were complaining about stutters and stuff. I noticed it too. It's like for me, on my computer, it's like a split second, right? Like a blip, just like a real quick blip. But that shouldn't be happening. Little freezes here and there, not a lot, not constant, but just little freezes like every few minutes or whatever, So not impressed there. And then let me see real quick. What was the other one? There was one other issue. Oh yeah. This is in the opening cinematic with young Aloy and Ross, her like fake parent, whatever, her guardian is and mentor, is taking her through the bushes and teaching her how to stalk and whatever and use the bow. And I had forgotten that she was carrying a bow with her because while she was following Ross, she did not have a bow on her back as a kid. And then it appeared, and part of that cinematic, it appeared, but it was hovering above her. I think I haven't checked for the screenshot yet, but I tried to take a screenshot because I was sitting there and I was watching it for like maybe 20 seconds, and I was like, oh, I should screenshot this. I don't normally screenshot bugs because it's not something I screenshot. I screenshot cool stuff. But I was laughing, so I was like, oh, I should screenshot this. But it was funny. Her bow was just hovering above her, like, and behind her, like above and behind her. Just her bow was just hovering, just flipping around. And I was like, this is all within the first 10 minutes. And I'm like, this is pathetic. This is pathetic, man. This is a remaster, So hopefully they'll fix that. I'm not sitting here. I don't want to trash on the game or anything. I'm probably going to play through it. But it's kind of funny that it's a remaster. Aren't you I'm sick and tired of this crap, man. I'm so sick and tired of this crap. Not only are they remastering games that shouldn't have remasters so soon, whatever, like it's unnecessary, it's just ridiculous. But then when they do remaster, call it a remaster and put it out, it still has the same old, but it reminds me of, I thought about this. This is funny because I had made a couple videos before, but there was a video I was talking about the remasters. And I forgot to get around to talking about GTA 5 and Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Not because they're remasters. I mean, they did that with Skyrim too, but they have so many versions of that game, and they have all the bugs from the original, right? What's the rework here? You know, like it's bullcrap. It's so stupid. Um, as far as like the changes visually, I do have preferences for the original. But the video, if you haven't seen the video for Digital Foundry, I don't sub to them anymore. I haven't for a while, and I forget why. Something. I mean, I'm everybody's whatever. But I checked out the video because I was curious. I was just curious, and I was like, oh damn, that is impressive what they did. That is. But I do prefer some of the previous style. What they did was they kind of sharpened, of course, right? But they also changed the colors to be more realistic. You know, right? You can tell because like if in the comparison video too, as well as screenshots, you can see that in the original, even the complete edition, right? Like the previous version, it's much more vibrant. It's much more colorful. And I have noticed this with different things, different games, you know, whatever. It's a style thing. But when you go realistic, the colors get more dull. That's just the way it is. I don't know why. Yeah. So there is, but the detail is much better. They added way more detail. The lighting and the shadows is much deeper than it was before. So there's a lot of impressive stuff that they did with it. Other than the first 10 minutes of bugs, you know, right away. It's just like, how do you call this? You didn't even check your own game. You didn't check this yourselves. These are the developers. This is what drives me nuts, man. This is why I keep saying all the time. I'm like, devs don't even play their own game. Not only do they not play video games, they don't play their own game. If I was making a game, right, which I've done, little things, little projects, little small things. I worked on Bloxels for a little bit. That was fun, thanks to a friend of mine. Dark Alchemy, but I would go and I would play through my own game to make sure things were working the way that I wanted them to work, that they should work. And while I was doing that, I kept finding issues, and I'd have to go back and fix it. That's what I would do in a game that I'm making. I would make sure that it fucking plays properly. You know, and I also, when I was doing that, I had to think about, like, as a player that's never played this, because when you make a game, like, you know what you're doing, you know how to, you know, this and that. But there was a specific level I made where it was just all darkness. It was fun. It was really fun to work on. It was just a maze, and you had to hop around and fight your way around it in this one little small part of the level. And I was playing through it, and I was like, I know what I'm doing, but I want to make sure this is explorable with somebody that's never done this, doesn't know what the hell is going on, and you know, like, are they going to be able to get through this just by jumping around and trying to find a spot? So I was working with that. But anyways, so yeah, I mean, it's something I've noticed a lot. Dude, Diablo 4 was a big one for me, man. I was just like, how did this happen? And I still regret ever giving that game a 9, kind of like I was talking about in my review. You know, like, I enjoyed the campaign very much, but the game's just a disgusting thing. It's really just disgusting. It disgusts me what happened, because I played through Diablo 4 and I'm like, none of these developers that made this game played the previous games. I don't know how you could get Diablo 4 if you had played any of the previous games at all. Especially 3. Especially 3 was like, Reaper of Souls was the best Diablo had ever been, man. And if you never played Reaper of Souls, you need to. If you liked Diablo 2 and Diablo 1 and you hated 3 because it had just a really bad launch and all that kind of crap, and you never play Reaper of Souls, go freaking play it. Seriously, go play it. Yeah, anyways, so now I've just noticed, it seems to me, every time I'm playing games now with these little issues all over the place, these little things, interface stuff, game options in the settings, right? All these little things all over all these games, and it's like, if a developer actually played games, they would know what's missing. This wouldn't launch this way. This would not be happening because they know what they're doing. But all it seems to me is like they're all just either copy pasting assets or just they know coding, but they don't actually play and enjoy games. I remember I actually came across a conversation with somebody who said they were working on a game, but they were doing like netcode. I forget exactly what they were doing, but it wasn't like specific to the game. It was specific, like some background coding kind of stuff, right? And they were saying, I don't need to play video games. I just need to code it. And I was like, excuse me a sec. That's just wrong to me. I don't think it makes any sense. How can you code something if you don't even know like what it's going into, right? It's just whatever. Some things I'm sure maybe they can code something that somebody else is going to take and use, you know, but anyways, it just seems to me like a lot of developers don't even, they're all young, they don't play games, they have never played the previous games in the series, this is their first time working on a game, and they're just crap because they're stupid brainless idiots that don't actually play video games. So do anybody else feeling this way like me at all? Like, I'm curious because I've been thinking this for a while, man. It's been driving me crazy. I'm playing these games and I'm like, this little thing right here, this little broken bug, this little issue, this missing option, this missing setting, these little things, they don't make sense for a gamer. We need more gamer devs. I don't know where they're getting these developers. I don't know what they're hiring them for, how they're hiring, what's going on. I don't know what the hell's going on, but they're not gamers, okay? They're not gamers. This stuff doesn't happen in games from a gamer making a game. They wouldn't do that. It's just so frustrating. So yeah, you know, these guys are porting, you know, Nyx is porting a game, but they did a lot of work. Apparently, you know, from the articles and stuff, they actually worked with Guerrilla Games on the changes that they wanted to make. They didn't just make changes, they worked with Guerrilla Games, and Guerrilla Games had to like approve these certain things and whatever, right? And you know, and like I said, like it does look visually, it is much better. They did a lot of improvements. But I don't understand how I'm 10 minutes into the game and I've already encountered some like major issues. And they're not game breaking. I could play the game just fine. But why is this happening in the first 10? So you're telling me you did all this work on the game and you couldn't even be bothered to make sure the first 10 minutes of the game were working properly? Like seriously? Like, anyways, all right, I'm gonna go. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.